You want to buy a house for under $100,000? Huh. Let's talk about that next. Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here, and today I want to talk about some of the things that are going on in the market that I've recently learned from a different perspective. And I think, it might help you to understand the context of, these crazy prices and the crazy market that we have going on as far as prices go. This letter comes from Titan Homes, and its president is Aaron Sullivan. They've been a staple in our community for like 14 years. They build really nice homes, and he shared some things from his perspective that I found very interesting. He said that in January they decided to stop making semi-custom homes. Before, you could pick a plan, tweak it a little bit, and make it customized for you within parameters. They don't do that anymore, and which is something that we're seeing with many builders throughout the valley. And the reason that they don't do that is because the market conditions have become too volatile, and they couldn't price their homes appropriately. And as he says later on, they're losing money on the ones that they already have under contract. He also shared that with COVID-19 delays getting building permits, for instance in Nampa, it's been taking over 2 months to get those permits. And of course during that time, prices are going up, prices of lumber are going up, as we will find out more here in a little bit. So that's just another piece of why things are taking longer and are more expensive. He also goes on to say that in addition to the permits, the escalation of lumber prices have just increased dramatically. And then he gives some examples of what that is. He said the price of new homes is going to go up significantly to cover the rising costs. And he says, when I say significantly, I mean it. And he attached a chart from some of his suppliers that shows that what different things used to cost like that, now they're like up there like that on the charts. An easy barometer, he says, to gauge the lumber market is the current price for a 4x8 foot sheet of 7/16 OSB. And this is the big sheets that they put on the roof, on the flooring, on the side. So they use quite a bit of that in a house. And he says that in the last 14 years of home building, the average price for a sheet of OSB has been about $7.50 a sheet. They've paid as low as $5.15, and there was a time that they paid in the mid-20s for a sheet. Currently, OSB is going for $40+ per sheet and climbing. Their supplier said that if they put in an order right now, that the OSB would be for $65.95 a sheet. So he says in essence they've gone from like $7 to $70 a sheet. I would say, yeah, that is a pretty dramatic increase in prices. He says that the typical home takes between 350 and 600 sheets of OSB. So that really does increase the price of the house. It's not just these developers out there gouging people. There's a lot having to do with the price of the materials going into it. He says that there are several factors on why this has happened, and he's going to give us a brief overview. He said one, that when COVID hit, there were a lot of people that were sent home from work and still being paid, and what do? They flooded out Lowe's and Home Depot, and they bought up a lot of the materials, putting more demand on the market for these kind of OSB and studs and things like that. Number two was that lumber mills were shut down for COVID while excess inventory was being depleted. So there's no inventory to kind of buffer what's going on in the market. It also says number three is that there's a shortage of the glue/resin that they use in making the OSB. And some mills have actually stopped making some products because they just don't have the glue to put the things together. Number four, he said that when the lumber plants had the COVID outbreaks, that they did start or try to start back up, and then they had to shut down again because of the COVID. And number six, he's talking about with Treasure Valley's growth, more and more homes are being built, yet lumber suppliers are being allocated shipments based off the previous year's numbers. So builders can only build what they did last year, they can't even keep up with the demand, the increased demand that we have this year. So those are a few of the things, and it's not just lumber. He mentions too that paint. Sherwin-Williams has said that paint is going to be a problem in the near future, and primer, as are light fixtures and appliances. And I certainly know I have clients that have moved up here, and typically a home will have the appliances except for the refrigerator, and they go to buy a refrigerator and they're on 8 weeks back order. Sometimes I had one client that had to buy like a college dorm size refrigerator, and that's what they use until they actually could get the real one delivered. Back to that Sherwin-Williams example, he said that there's a huge shortage on the paint and primer, and one of the reasons for that is that their manufacturing facility in Texas was hit with that big freak snowstorm that froze everything out. So it's just like one thing after another is just kind of like dogpiling on our situation here. He does say that all things considered, this is the single most difficult period in construction that he's ever been in. And I'm hearing that from my other builders that I work with as well. So I really appreciate Aaron Sullivan of Titan Homes to put out this letter to let us agents and his clients know really what's going on in the market, so we have more of a feel for the whole context of why things are what they are right now. If you know of anybody that might find some value in this information, please go ahead and share this video with them, and like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. We put out new videos every Thursday, and they are all educational, entertaining, just good stuff about the Treasure Valley. So as always, this is Treasure Valley Dave, looking forward to helping you get home. You'd go up to 150,000? Let me get my DeLorean. I'll meet you.